good.
Yeah. All right. It's rolling right now. Okay. Sitting to the table with Mr. Walter Hunter, one of the community leaders I've known, been a community leader for a long time. You know, and I just got started out here in 2015 myself, but we've known him to be in the community doing this thing since the 70s, from what I've heard.
Yes.
Maybe even longer. We're here at the office of WestView Cemetery. We're going to discuss a topic that has been in the minds of a whole lot of people. Every Memorial Day we go out there and we call it the Sticker Pearls. We know why too. It's just a nickname, you know, nothing downgrading, but it's just a nickname. So, Mr. Hunter, how you doing today?
I'm doing fine. How are you, David?
Very good, very good. So, I just wanted to ask a few simple questions along the lines pertaining to what we saw you on Channel 7 News talking about this year. So in 2018, I understand you're spearheading the concern for the WestView Cemetery, and I definitely respect that motion and that movement that you want to make for it, because my father, grandfather, historical figures in our community is buried out there. And, you know, we always want to make it look good. So please give your name, title, and your mission.
Well, my name is Walter C. Hunter. I'm the business manager for WestView. I've been on the board for the past 20 years or more. And one of the reasons I became involved with the WestView, my grandmother, who died at 100 years of age, my grandfather, who died around 85, 86 years of age, was buried on US 1, Pompano Cemetery. Well, lo and behold, they closed down that cemetery to blacks because at that time the city fathers felt that, and the community felt that we probably would be contaminating the bodies of our white brothers. Yeah. So unfortunately, when my grandmother passed, we had to bury her at WestView. So that separated the two. Oh. Not because they wanted to be that way, but because of the law of the land at that time.
Gotta love history, American history, y'all.
Yes,
and look, that did not mean that we was downgraded. We actually was upgraded, because we now know that that's the historical black cemetery from that point on, even though now we're in the 2000s.
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely historical. And just to a little backdrop on my grandmother and grandfather, when we couldn't bury them alongside each other, close to each other, because of whatever the affairs was at that time. And I saw the cemetery was really horrible back in the day. Back in the day, they didn't even have, many of them didn't have the vaults, they didn't have anything. They had to cut a patch of land in order to bury someone. So we've come a long way. You know, you've seen that old cigarette commercial, Slim Jims or whatever they were, and they say we've come a long way, baby. Well, believe it or not, it's not the best that I would like to see it right now, but we have come a long way, baby. And I'm very proud of the work that all of the volunteers that we have that have put in.
Gotta love volunteers.
Oh man, I love them to death. We normally get Boy Scouts of America once a year. As you mentioned, the memorial celebration. We have the involvement of the city, fire department, sheriff department, and the community all in one. And I'm telling you, it is a day of celebration for our veterans and the men and women who went to war and to battle for us so that we can have freedom in this country. So we celebrate that once a year, and we get all kind of support from everybody. And I'm very proud of our commissioners, city manager, all of them.
Oh yeah. Memorial Day is always a great holiday for America, and you know, we gotta make our people who served, and even the ones who serve locally, in local government, as you say, everybody who passed and gone, we still want them to look good and keep pumping them prestigious. So again, this is why we got have this mission on upscaling WestView Cemetery. A quick question: if I live in Pompano, how many options of locations can I be buried? How many cemeteries does Pompano have anyway?
Pompano have, far as I know, within the city of Pompano.
Yeah.
It's two. Well, no, I take that back, because you have private cemeteries.
Right.
You have Forest Lawn.
Right.
You have the city of Pompano, of course, on the US 1, and then you have Westview Community Cemetery. Now there's another cemetery in Deerfield, but not Pompano.
Oh, okay.
Not too far away. But this here is originally the first and only African American or black cemetery in the city of Pompano Beach since the year 1952. Now you look back, you're looking at 66 years ago.
Yeah.
So when you look at how the cemetery look now, if I was able to get into the computer right now and you see what it looked like then, you say it's night and day.
Yeah.
Night and day. So, I'm very proud of the work, and my heart goes out to all of the families that think their loved ones are not being treated fairly or good. But we need cooperation. We need cooperation from the community. We need their input.
Yeah.
Not just input, we need work. We need the community to come together.
Opinion, right?
Everybody has an opinion.
Yeah.
Everybody can do this, do that. And I mean, talk is always a good show.
Yeah.
But the best show that I've seen is getting out there and doing it. Working together to get it done. Now we have plans. And our plans include the community, which really brought about the cemetery. It was brought about with the churches and the community. They bought the land, they came together, bought the land. We had nowhere else to go.
You know what? It's so honorable to be a part of this project, I believe. And I plan on coming out there and helping in ways that I can. Because if you say the 50s, the cemetery predates the civil rights movement.
That's correct.
So this is actually a strong thing. Now, I'm glad you brought the point of private. Because people younger than me, I wear my hair nappy, and it's people wear all kind of colorful hairstyles now. So it's a younger generation that don't know no clue about how this stuff is operated. So Mr. Hunter, you saying we need some community help, but it's private. If I'm a youngster, I'm gonna say, oh, they ain't cleaning their plots, they ain't painted, so who is they? You ain't expecting the city to do these things. It's either gonna be privately done or it's gonna be community done. So if there's such a low rate, how is these things gonna be done and kept up if there's never no money? So my question now is, imagine Westview had $1 million dropped in their lap. What would be the first thing in the process to bringing that cemetery up to scale?
Well, the first thing would be, number one, is getting a sprinkler system in.
Yeah.
Because you can't put grass, you can't put anything. I don't want any more trees, because trees is what lifts up the graves now. And this is a practice they had years ago, which have caused a lot of problems. And we have eliminated that now. But the first thing would really be that I would like to see a nice wall separating us from the steel plant.
Yeah, it's steel plant.
Yes, and that would be a great thing if we could do that. But I would like to see a fence all the way around it, something similar to what Forest Lawn have down the street from us.
Yeah.
You see.
Would you like to entertain the thought of a grand entrance from Copeland's Road, like how Forest Lawn has?
We do have that. We do have interests we have two entrances. Matter of fact, off of, we actually have three, but we don't use them.
Okay.
We have 3 that from that side showing Westview. We can upgrade all of that.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Oh man, it'd be awesome. And we have a lot of land. Thank God for that. And because of it being historical like it is, with the grave sitting up, our goal, or my mission, and the cemetery mission is in the new areas, the new parts of the cemetery, that we go underground all the way and have, just like Forest Lawn, all other cemeteries, just like the city of Pompano, you bury them underground and then they get headstones. And then that way you can put your lawnmowers, you can keep it nice and clean.
Yeah.
But due to the fact, the fact that this is because they're sitting up, because years ago they had to use shovels to dig.
Yeah.
They didn't have machines, you see. So they will put them up above ground.
So those saying 6 feet deep, that's what they was digging a hole with their shovels?
They weren't going 6 feet deep
Shoot.
because they were running to water level.
Oh,
You remember?
South Florida,
Yeah, well, no, the area over there was like a cow pasture. It wasn't just an area where you could go in and dig. You go down 3 feet or so, you could run into water. So you didn't have much choice at that time. So now, since 1952, it's been that way. And the way they had, I guess, was doing it way before my time. I can't change that. I wish I could. If I could have a crystal ball and say, bam, let's do it, I'll do that.
It'd be nice, yeah.
It'd be very nice. And a lot of those graves that's, like people say, sinking. Well, I guess if you buried in Florida, and it depends on who was out there at the time, how low it was when they put it in.
Yeah.
So it's gonna go down. And me, if I had my way and could do it, I would just go ahead, if I could cover it up and put grass and put a nice headstone, it would be beautiful. But you can't raise them, because if you start trying to raise a grave, the family gonna be responsible. And if it break, they gotta put a new
It's a
one.
whole mess.
It's a big mess. And I don't think they have the monies to do that, or want to do that. So we got to come up with the best way that we can do it. But my main goal is to beautify, to put nameplates on those that don't have them, and we can locate family members and find out who's there. And if we had the money, I'll do it.
Yes.
WestView do it.
Yeah.
We don't have a problem. So we can get contributions. We can get people to send monies to WestView Community Cemetery. We are a 501c cemetery.
Nice, okay.
Yeah.
Well, when I look back at this, how
Matter
you
of fact,
have
well, let me explain something to you about that. That's something your grandfather did years ago. Matter of fact, he was the one that was instrumental in getting this done. Unfortunately,
I like this roundabout. I definitely see that.
that's a
when I come
circle.
in.
Yeah,
Circle.
that's a circle. He did that voluntarily way back in the day.
Nice.
You know, and you know, if we can get the old part of the cemetery, the only reason we haven't made it like a historical cemetery, because then you won't be able to bury anybody. You're done.
Yeah.
You turn it over to a historical society, you don't put nothing else in there. So there are a lot of plots left that a lot of family members would love to still put their families by. So if we can do that, and as we fill that in, and then we can just really go ahead and make that a historical site.
Point to me to the new side and the old side.
Oh, okay. Let's see. On this map,
We're gonna do a poll, y'all. Do you want the graves on the top, above ground, or below ground?
yeah, well, I'm sure they're better underground, because every cemetery, well, not only do I believe so, I also know so, because if you go down to Fort Lauderdale, to the city of Fort Lauderdale Cemetery, you go to the cemetery in Pompano Beach, or you go to Forest Lawn, they're all underground because you can maintain it.
Yeah.
You cannot, the way we are, Very
both
difficult.
routes.
How are you going to maintain? You know, and we do have lawn service out there, and they have to weed eat all around, and you know. So what we can do with that is beautify it the best that we can,
Yes.
make it historical as it is, and just take good care of it, loving care for our people who are out there, because it is a place of serenity. WestView is.
Yes.
Yes,
Mhm.
yes, peace and serenity.
Yeah.
That's what WestView is. That's a resting place. Now, this is one of the main roads going in. And as you go in the cemetery, you can see that this is that circle.
Yeah.
Okay, all over here, this here is vacant land that we have. We have vacant land, actually, as you come down this road, all of this part here is vacant. This here is being filled. So from here on down and round is being filled. And it's been that way for quite some time. So my thing is, since it's been there so long, what we can do, once we start the resurrection of the cemetery to make it what we want it to be, look like what the community would like to see it be, and make, which we are very proud, and we want to stay proud of it, because again, nowhere else in this city you can go and find where you have a black cemetery that's still operating, still in operations, still looking decent. I'm proud of it. I am so proud, because I put sweat and blood in it, and guess what? I don't get paid one dime. I haven't gotten one dime, haven't asked for a dime. But as we go, hopefully we can get it bigger and bigger, and then we can pay people to come out to work. We could even pay some of the people who run it and doing the things that they do.